Oh, hi Mark. Welcome to Mediocre Money. In this video, I am doing your money questions answered. This is a video series that I do where I answer your questions that you have about money. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. This is Mediocre Money, my YouTube channel where I dive into personal finances, advice, strategies, and research, giving you actionable and simple personal finance advice. So this week's question comes from Cesar Reyes. I'm not sure where Cesar is from, but Cesar has a question about mutual funds. And his question is, what do the series mean? So for example, there are TDE series, which is a collection of mutual funds that TD Bank has to offer. Cesar, he asked this question, thank you very much Cesar for asking this question, has a TFSA account with RBC. And with his RBC TFSA account, he has invested with the RBC F series funds. And so Cesar wants to know, what is the difference between these funds and what do these letters and acronyms mean? So to answer your question, Cesar, the short answer is they don't mean anything. All that these big banks do is they like to package up their mutual funds in ways that they can sell. So for example, RBC might classify all F series funds as their Canadian dominant ETFs. Just for an example. So the only classification differences between, say, TDE series and RBC F series, it's really just a name. It's just a marketing strategy that they use and a way to classify groups of their mutual funds. But more importantly, Cesar, what I'd like to ask you is, what mutual funds do you have? I know you had the F series funds. There's about 37 different F series funds available from RBC. And now, having these funds isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's a few very important steps I want you to do first before considering buying something like, or buying more of, in your case, Cesar, buying more of the TDE series or the RBC F series funds. And here's some of the points that I want you to think about. Number one, what is the management fee that you're paying on these fees? The big bank mutual fund fees, they are notorious for making a ton of money for the banks. As a general guidelines, I recommend not buying any sort of mutual fund or any ETF or any index fund that has a management fee higher than 0.5%. So anything below that, by all means, go buy it, go be crazy. But anything above that, I'd be very, very reluctant to buy a fee like that. And the reason is because even the difference between 0.5% and a 1% management fee, upfront to us talking about it, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of management fees. But I've done the math and I can show you the math on my blog, which is Mediocre Money. I'll link to that. I think I can link to that up here. If I can't link to it, I'll link to it in the description so you guys can go check out this blog post where I go into the actual cost of management fees. And now the difference between a 0.5% management fee and a 1% management fee, while it doesn't seem like much to us on the surface level, can actually result in over hundreds of thousands of dollars taken from your investments over the course of 20 or 30-year period. And being smart financial people like yourself, Cesar, or wanting to know more about finances, that's something that we should be very, very aware of and making sure that we reduce those costs as much as we can. So that's one reason why I personally recommend Vanguard. Vanguard has the lowest fees out of any sort of mutual fund or ETF or index company that I've seen. So that's why I tend to recommend Vanguard. Second thing that I want you to think about, Cesar, and anyone else in this predicament too, which is before you go buying this mutual fund or whatever F series funds or E series funds that you might be interested in, I recommend everyone to do this, to have between 80 to 90% of your investments that are in the stock market in a total stock market index fund or a S&P 500 index fund. So again, let me repeat that. 80 to 90% of your investments in the stock market should be in a total stock market index fund. Either that, or you can do a balanced portfolio. I really love Vanguard's VGRO, VGRO, or VBAL, VBAL. Those are balanced funds that have mostly equities, but with a little bit of bonds to kind of make your funds a little bit more stable. So that way you don't experience the lows that we're experiencing right now with like coronavirus, but you still get the upside of having amazing companies like Apple and Netflix and Google in your portfolio. If you have this F-Series fund, don't be afraid to sell it, and yes, sell it at a loss. If you say you find out that your F-Series fund is 1.2% management fee, and you're like, wow, Mark recommended VBAL, I'm gonna go check out VBAL. You find out that VBAL, the management fee is only 0.22%, I believe, which is less than it's a quarter less of 1% management fee, which ends up being saves you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your investment life. So for myself personally, right now I'm shooting to have 80% of my investments in VFV, which is an S&P 500 index fund, and I've split that with VGT. VGT is a growth index fund, which just basically is targeting technology companies. Now I'm using that for myself. You might have a different situation. The reason why I'm buying VGT as well is because I'm fairly young, I have a long career ahead of me, so I'm looking for a little bit more of the upside. So I'm investing a little bit more in the technology sector. Besides that, besides your 80 to 90% of your investments, you can do whatever you want with that money. Go buy a 2% mutual fund fee from RBC A series. Give it a shot, why not? But I strongly recommend for most of us to have 80% to 90% of our money in a total stock market index fund or a S&P 500 index fund. So Cesar, I hope that answered your question. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know in the comments below on this video. And I have a very special announcement. Cesar, congratulations, not just for asking this question, but you also commented on my last video, and that means you, Cesar, won this book, Quit Like a Millionaire, which is a Canadian book, and it's an incredible story about Christy and Bryce, and I read through their book, and it is really good. Cesar, I know you're gonna love this book. Please DM me on Instagram, Cesar, @mediocremoney, and I will send you this book. Congratulations, Cesar. And if you guys watching this video want to win a book like this as well, please subscribe to my channel, and you'll find out in my next upcoming videos how you can also have the chance to win a book. All right, I hope you guys all have an amazing weekend. Peace out.